we live in a world in an abundance of buzzwords where big data and personalisation are all kind of talk about town. But what does that actually mean to us? And I think it starts with the acknowledgement that it's the customer that is changing. Our customers, we've spoken about the world of the Internet of Things. We're hearing a lot about that at the moment. But I like the term, and it's not my term, it's absolutely a common digital term at the moment. I'm not sure where it came from. The Internet of Me, which is I am different and I am surrounded by connectivity and the Internet in different ways, and I'm consuming it differently. So I think if we as brands and as businesses accept that our customer is not where they used to be, and that they change dramatically every day, and that their behavior is changing, and the Nikki of yesterday is not the Nikki of tomorrow, then we are understanding that there's a change in the data that we require. Where we used to talk about master data and single view of customer, which is still absolutely important, what is becoming more important, making the assumption that that data is good and of good quality, is dynamic data. And dynamic data is really data that is data in, so I'm taking the data based on the experience that you've just done, I'm utilizing that, and I'm giving you a different experience as a result. So this continual cycle of dynamic data, of saying it's not a static thing, it doesn't live in a single database, in a big archaic IT infrastructure. It lives in a place where it mostly can be taken in and used in a way to deliver a relevant experience to the customer. And I think personalization can have quite a negative connotation to it. People still think of it as the personalized email, saying hi Nikki on the email, but it means a lot more. Relevance is everything. So where I am at this moment in time and what I'm feeling, the experience needs to talk to that. And it can be mood dependent, it can be a life-changing experience, it can just be where the day I've had, it can be that I've had a baby, it can be so many things. But that experience is changing, and therefore I need the customer is changing, my daily life is changing, my behavior is changing, and therefore I need a relevant experience. And I think that is a very broad summary in my version of what personalization truly means. In the past, we had customer insights teams and multiple representation of the customer across different structures, and that can be in a small business, big business, any business. There was some multiple representations of customer, there were multiple representations of digital, and then there was multiple representations of data ownership, from your BI teams to your CI teams, etc. My view, and it's only a view, is that you need a customer experience team. And in that team, you need a makeup of people who are customer officers, so still your custodians of customer, making sure that it's the customer's voice that's being heard, it's the customer experience and not what you think it's the brand experience. And then you need data officers, because I spoke a little bit about in my presentation about how important when you're dealing with personal data, how important the relationship of trust is with your customer. I spoke about good quality and hygienic data must be relevant. There's nothing more frustrating than when you're being spoken to, but actually it's not you. The role of the team is to make sure that you're delivering to that. And I don't, look, and I say a role, I'm not by any way suggesting another silo. I'm suggesting a matrix structure of talented people that probably exist in your organization already or somewhere in your company, and bringing that skill together and shifting their focus to the customer experience. So I think there are three components to trust, which are what I spoke about. So security is common. I mean, people talk about security, you know, the privacy issues around compliance. You know, we have POPI, we have PCI and their legislative pieces, but also just respecting the data that you've got in your hands and building policies around that. But then I think that the third thing, which is the transparency aspect, is probably the most kind of fragile. Nobody enjoys not knowing why their data is going to be used, and nobody enjoys giving their data freely, but they do it because it's hard to sometimes say no. I know very few people, when you say, can I have your email address, that'll actually say no, or what are you going to do with it, but they want to ask that. I think the onus is on you taking in the data to tell people what you're going to do with their data and be honest. There needs to be a level of integrity around that data, and the integrity is in the form of transparency. I'm going to use your data to deliver a more relevant and better experience to you as the customer. I'm not going to sell it to you so you can get spammed or stalked by somebody else.